Hey guys, welcome. Hi, welcome back to Dishonored. Now we just entered this room here. We can read part 2 of this Gaffer's tale. We'll see what happened to him, I guess. After more than a quarter of a century, I'm done with wailing. Too broke to continue. I've seen all the corners of the Isles and made more coin than most men see in a lifetime. But it's all gone. I've lived through an emperor and watched his daughter take the throne. Fair, young empress she was, but slain so young. Everything beautiful comes to die. I've eaten in every port of the world and sailed in the loneliest waters you could imagine. I've seen the cliffs around Pandysia. Even the best of it doesn't give me an ounce of joy. The years come back across my dreams as a line of butchered bodies, long, sleek, and singing among the waves under the moonlight, only to be speared by ugly, weather-scarred men who'd knife each other for a good pair of boots. Each year I had less time to come home. My tongue forgot the language of small chatter, and those who lived in the cities thought me odd. My sister Nina hardly knew what to say to me during our visits. When she lost her business to the Lord Regent's crooked barrister, I was 100 miles east of Morley, gaff hand frozen from the sleet as we tracked the first bull whale we'd seen in months. I helped her as much as I could, but Nina died in the early days of the plague. None of it mattered. If I'm jaded and bitter, it's because this industry has taken away my dreams. The world has beaten me. Dang, so this must not have happened too long ago, since they're referring to that guy as Lord Regent. I'm pretty sure he was the spy master before I was arrested. Excerpt from a longer work of fiction. Finding my way by the feeble light of the dying fire, I saw her working. A large needle moved in her hand, following precise, esoteric patterns, knots and loops of seamstress craft from ancient days. Beneath her needle, his body clenched and shuddered, shaking the wooden table. A morbid fascination pushed me closer until she turned her blank face toward me, resting the needle in his flesh. With a refined tone, she addressed me. So you are the lover, I presume. You too have been faithful, and it's now your turn to be mended. There's another one here, The Young Prince of TYVIA. Excerpt from a theater play. Lord Nathan Bale, shaking with outrage. How dare you, sir, clothed and so in my very home? I should hand you over to the watch, depraved Tyvian. Prince Calasar, moving closer. That's a harsh welcome for royalty, my lord. Your daughter treated me with much more hospitality. Alas, she has gone out for the evening, leaving me all alone. Lord Nathan Bale, stammering, studying the younger man before him. What are you doing? Leave this house. Go back to your frozen wasteland, pale rascal. Prince Casimir, smiling coyly, reaching out. No need for anger between us, Lord Bale. Is it so wrong for me to be here? As I've proven, I've developed an affinity for you and your family. Lord Nathan Bale, gasping. Oh my, Calasar, your skin is so warm. It burns. Well that took a weird turn at the end. I don't really know what to say about that. Let's take a look at this tall building here. Looks like we can enter it. The trials. I think I already read this. Yeah. Call to the Spheres, Volume 1. Excerpt from work of fiction, early chapters. My stomach twisted as the engines of the odd vessel roared louder. It was the creation of Orcado, I don't know, third prefect from the Academy of Natural Philosophy. He was exhilarated, savoring each of the small craft's undulations. Orcado pulled a lever, and a great gout of smoke surrounded us. The smell of burning whale oil grew unbearable as the machine propelled itself upward. I was too afraid to look through the window, which suddenly didn't feel thick enough. As if knowing my thoughts, Overseer Bryn looked at me and smiled. Recite some of the litany, my pupil. It will protect your heart from the turpitude of the void on our way to the outer spheres. That's weird. I don't know what that means, but maybe we'll find out someday. The Fugue Feast. Excerpt from a book on the celebrations and holidays. At the end of every year, after the last month of the month of songs, we begin the Fugue Feast. The new year has not started, and thus the time that follows is outside the calendar. A period of celebration and feasting begins, during which the people abandon the very practices that keep them whole and healthy over the year. Many leave their homes, euphoric with spirits or potent herbs. Some paint their faces or wear masks to conceal themselves as they pursue their passions without reservation. When the right cosmological signs are observed and it is time for the calendar to begin anew, the sitting high overseer calls for the hymn of atonement, and the fugue feast ends. Families return to their homes, wives to their husbands, enemies put down their weapons, and fires are extinguished. No complaint is given for those who have wronged others, deviated from ancient codes, or discarded oaths, for this time during the astrological alignment does not exist, and is not recorded. The following day starts the new year, marked on the first day of the month of Earth, as it has always been. Dang, so we have like sort of a purge situation going on where it's like every man for themselves, and it's I should say every man and women. Don't want to exclude any genders in this purge scenario that we seem to have going on. I feel like you should be able to go up higher in the tower, but I don't think we can yet. Blood from the eyes. That's not a good place for blood. Well, we should talk to this Piero guy, right? Piero, I've heard
I'll be crafting your weapons and gear. All custom work. For you, I will create the tools of a master assassin. No! This cannot happen now. The tank of whale oil's run out. Will you get a new tank from upstairs, please, while I hold this in place? Be careful. The oil's unstable. When it explodes, there's a terrible mess.
By terrible mess, do you mean like my body parts splattered all over the place? Piero, no, I will not sign off on these purchases. A bag of powdered crystal? Tivian ore? What's wrong with the metals and crystal? King sparrow feathers? If you need feathers, sacrifice your own pillow. Maybe at the academy everything you needed was paid for by a tariff and handed out willy-nilly, but this is my bar, or what's left of it, and we're operating on a budget. We're running low on oil, food, elixir, building materials, and everything else, so you've got to slow down. While I'm footing the bill, I will not approve your purchases unless they're absolutely required. No more copper wire or special herbs. If you need those things, go out and scavenge them. Half the city is in ruins, so no one is going to miss any of the odd crap you seem to need. Admiral Hablock. Dang. Excerpt from a series of newspaper articles from prominent natural philosophers by Pierrot Joplin. It is through no fault of my own that the average citizen has expressed a preference for Sokolov's elixir over my own formula, sold as Piero's remedy, a name I did not choose, if you must know the truth. The public has spoken its usual message of idiocy, spending their coin as a means of selecting Sokolov's formula over mine, which I believe to be equal, if not superior. Much has been made over the popularity of these concoctions as a means of resisting this remarkable new plague. I say remarkable because this strain works with an efficiency we have not seen in the history of the Empire. This plague, now making its way through the city of Dunwall, is unrivaled in its effectiveness. I have studied it within the blood of those so afflicted, and it is nearly perfect. Elegant, in fact. And while it is true that Piero's remedy and Sokolov's elixir are known to protect the body against the plague equally, my own has properties not fully understood, which relate to the mind itself and the spirit. And it is in this way that my formula wins out. Here is where one should pay attention to this contest, for you see, Sokolov's elixir, with its emphasis on the brute animal body, is a crass goo better suited for livestock. The subtle and secret variants in the key ingredients making up Piero's remedy ensure that it works on the higher functions that separate humankind from the mindless, blue-jawed hagfish swimming in the Wrenhaven River. Alright, we got two different solutions, two different choices, if you will, for handling the plague. Which one is better? Who knows? I guess his, it affects the mind somewhat, though I'm not sure if that sounds like a good thing to me or not. I guess you gotta do what you gotta do to keep the plague away. Alright, let's look at this. City Watch procedures. Commissioned by the Lord Regent in the face of the growing plague crisis, the dead counter is a position that will be only be given to officers, usually of junior or middle grades. In most matters of edict or curfew enforcement, these officers will defer to the acting officer on duty. However, any dead counter will have command in situations related to the plague and the handling of the dead, including those with late-stage plague symptoms called weepers in common parlance. So that's what those are. Starting in the month of rain, interested officers may apply for the test and, if accepted, for the 2-week training tour. Pay will be administered in coin and rations of elixir at 1.5 normal pay grade. Alright? Failed Experiments by Pierrot Joplin. Of course, I have attempted to improve upon Sokolov's designs, of course, and why not? After all, it is likely that his thinking was influenced in some small way by our time together at the Academy. We are all part of a community striving to unknot the mysteries of the cosmos. Even those among us who possess the greatest minds are often led to a fruitful line of consideration by, how does one say it, our intellectual subordinates. Sokolov is no exception to this. Despite the glamour of genius, he has cast over the aristocracy. And further, it is true that many of my experiments have failed. No need to gossip about it behind my back in your social clubs and in the very chambers of the Academy itself. Great ambitions require risks. You may laugh now at my door to nowhere, but someday you will not. Your children will likely see it as commonly as you see the electric lamps lighting our streets at night. But a few short years ago you would have laughed at Sokolov's arc pylon or wall of light. Your laughter, your condescending smiles, they are nothing but evidence of your own limited imagination. Tell 'em, bro. Whale vivisection. a natural philosopher aboard a whaling ship. Remarkably, each specimen I had the pleasure of studying during the voyage possessed some minor variance in physiology. On the second leg of the trip, east of TYVIA, the crew hauled aboard a female, some 42 in length. I estimated she weighed 35 tons, and the ship sat low, rocking side to side through the nights with her thrashing. By candlelight, I took her apart, sketching and taking notes. Against her bellowing, I cut into the mass of tentacles around her mouth. Within, I found row upon row of teeth and a baleen running through the upper jaw. Through this broom-like structure, I assumed she filtered food from the water that was too small to be chewed. A lot of reading this episode. Yeah. Out at sea, they secured the beast with hooks, with lines cast from the main ship and from several smaller boats. Buoys keep the whale from diving deep. Once it's caught, a larger hook is driven through the tail, which is used to hoist the creature up through the chute. They moan and bellow for some time as the men get them onto the deck, then lift them into the scaffolding overhead. The ship adjusts its prow and returns to port in Dunwall, where the crew works on the great creature, slicing off the fattiest parts while it still lives. Man, it doesn't sound like it'd be good to be a whale in this world. It's probably the last thing I'd want to be. Whale oil refilling station. Sokolov no longer has the upper hand with regard to supplies of whale oil. The good Admiral has paid for the installation of my own system, which will enable me to work in this place. The oil tank dispenser, when activated, will produce an empty vessel for filling. When the empty tank is held near the oil tank refill pump, the magnetic attractor should take the tank and lock it in the correct configuration. Using the lever will begin the refilling process. Once refilling is completed, the tank can be removed and placed in service. Extreme caution must be used in handling the full tanks. They are quite unstable. The system is sound and well engineered. It appears that the Greaves Oil Company has done something correctly for once. What do you need for the whale oil for? What does it do?
The Academy teaches that absurd idea that the energy in whale oil arises from the need to maintain life functions at extreme ocean depths. The pressure and the cold are too much to endure without it. I speculate that a human being might, by a process of adaptation, produce high-energy humors in the body. I could build a tank that would slowly increase pressure on a subject over a long period of time, and then observe them for years if need be, to see if the formulation of energetic substances develop. Surely the Empress would be able to furnish me with facilities subject to the necessary legal amnesty.
Yeah, the legal amnesty. Are you gonna go for someone who doesn't have a life or a family or anyone who cares about them? So if you like, can we? That goes. All right. I don't need to refill that right now. I'm just gonna give this guy what he wants.
Now plug it in. Perfect. Thank you, Corvo.
Yep.
Here, see? The assassin's mask. You're a wanted man, so everyone in the city knows your face.
I don't know my
This
face.
mask will mean terror to them. If you just
Terror.
hold still, the fit must be precise. There. Can you see normally?
Yeah.
See the lens out of alignment. There. Better now? I could create more for you. Upgrades for your gear, weapons, munitions. But our situation here is desperate. Scavenge the city for valuables and I will resell them on the black market. That should give us the money to craft the things you need.
Right.
Tell me what I can make for you.
let's have a look. Alright. How much? Oh, I have quite a lot of coins. Spring razor. Upgrades. Interesting. I think, this might be good since I do want to use sleep darts quite a lot. Or I might just want to, you know, be able to shoot them a little bit further. How many do I even have? Any? Not many. I'd like to have more. I'll just max out sleep darts, honestly. Let's just do that for fun. Might be handy. Alright. I'll just get one of these, disable security devices or make them work in your favor by using a rewire tool on the circuitry panel for the security device you want to hack. Alright. This consumes the rewire tool. Rewired wall of lights, arc pylons, and watchtowers will harm your enemies instead of you. While rewired, alarms will be fully disabled. Okay. So, yeah.
You must be exhausted. I advise that you get some sleep. Your life will get even more difficult soon. You should rest while you can.
Yeah, I will try. Yes, you're right. I'll head to my room for sleep.
Sleep well.
Nighty-night. Somewhere else. Oh, I don't have anything in my inventory right now. Am I dreaming? Holy heck, what happened to the world? It's all a bunch of floating chunks. This is like Scarecrow's world in the Batman games. The Arkham Asylum games reminds me of that.
Your life
Hi.
has taken a turn, has it not? The Empress is dead. Her precious daughter Emily is lost somewhere in the city, and you will play a pivotal role in the days to come. For this, I have chosen you and drawn you into the void. I am the outsider, and this is my mark.
I've heard so much.
There are forces in the world and beyond the world. Great forces that we can call magic. And now, these forces will serve your will. Use this newfound power. My gift to you. Come find me.
Alright. Power blink. Press right click to execute a fast and stealthy forward dash through the world. You can use it to move upward, but the distance is reduced. Aiming at ledges will allow you to blink forward and climb up. Alright, this is when things start to get a little bit more interesting, huh? Okay. Well, Let's blink. Oh, now it's the Empress. You cannot save her, you cannot save her. Huh. Why not? Piero's spiritual remedy. And it's a mana potion, alright. That way I can blink more. Whoops. Into the abyss we go. Oh, I'm back. No big deal. Let's try that again. This time, make sure we will... Yeah. We gotta make sure it's the right place. Emily's letter. Corvo, I'm very sad. They say that you're dead like mother, but I'm going to put this note in a bottle and throw it into the river because I do not believe them. Living here is very strange. I do not like it, so please come for me if you can. Huh. So she threw that in the river, but somehow I have it. Am I hallucinating, or, well, this is some sort of weird magical realm? And we can see into different parts of the world, or at least what the outsider wants me to see. Map Dunwall. Alright. Ah, dang, he's unhappy with the strategic plans. Oh wow. What are these things? Run, dudes. They're coming for you. Oh, there's a big old whale over there. Didn't even notice that. This place looks pretty cool, gotta say. Despite being strange.
In the days that follow, your trials will be great, Corvo.
I see.
Seek the ancient runes bearing my mark in the lonely places of your world, and at shrines raised in my name. These runes will grant you powers beyond those of other men. To help you find these runes, I give you this, the heart of a living thing, molded by my hands. With this heart, you will hear many secrets, and it will guide you toward my runes, no matter how they may be hidden. Listen to the heart now, and find another rune.
Alright. Equipping the heart in your left hand helps you locate bone charms or runes, even through walls. The heart beats and lights up when you're facing a bone charm or rune, and it beats faster as you get closer. The heart will whisper secrets if you press that while targeting a person or a location. Alright. Do you have any secrets for me now?
This place is the end of all things, and the beginning. All of time is meaningless here. Neither seconds, nor centuries. Someday this place will devour all the lights in the sky. The one who walks here is all things. Cradle songs of comfort and bones gnawed by teeth. This is the place from which those who dabble in black arts draw their power. And this place is their doom. I can feel a great age ending. This place is the end of all things,
Finished your loop.
and the beginning.
We're on the, 'cause, 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 the, 'cause except somebody just flipped it horizontally.
All of time's meaning is here.
Oh,
Neither seconds
didn't mean to use the
nor
part again.
centuries.
Well, looky here, we have a room. Once you've collected some runes, open the journal and go to the powers section to exchange them for powers. Runes can be collected and used to acquire supernatural powers. That's fun. Can I... Oh. I can afford dark vision currently. Looks like that's the only one I can afford right now. Oh, and vitality. Health is increased. Health regeneration improved. That sounds nice, but you can also level up ones you currently have. Can control animal targets for a short duration. Slows time for a short duration. Summon swarm of rats. Powerful wind attack that can push back, knock down enemies. Bloodthirsty. Jump height is increased and falling damage is reduced. Huh. Interesting. Well, see in the dark, see living beings through walls. I think this will be pretty useful for being a little bit more stealthy, since that's what we really want to achieve, is to be as stealthy as possible, and we don't really want to slaughter too many people if we can help it. Alright. This also looks like it might be a good thing to probably level up at some point as well. I think I'm gonna really like the blink and dark vision. These other things sound fun, especially like possession. Yeah.
How you use what I have given you falls upon you, as it has to the others before you. Now I return you to your world, but know that I will be watching with great interest.
Why are you so interested in me, Mr. Outsider? Alright. They have a plan to share with me. Now I have it on me. It wasn't just a dream. Bone charms. Bone charms provide small supernatural benefits. Locate them by listening for the song they emit. By default, you can activate up to 3 bone charms at once in the bone charms section of the journal. But I know I can at least upgrade that to 4.
All suspicions of plague, regardless of severity.
White rat's friend. White rats won't attack you. Okay. Oh, I guess I... Yeah.
Must be reported.
Must have. White rats can be consumed for mana. Oh. I guess those go together. Powers, effects, slightly improved.
Attention Dunwall citizens. River traffic is forbidden from landing in the distillery district.
The Journal of Granny Rags. Ramblings from a street denizen. Oh boy, more reading. Of course I'll tell you, dearie. I won't keep any secrets from you in the end. This is my granny voice. I'm probably not going to do that, honestly, for the rest of this. All the dreary days of my life are like the windows of a house. From the kitchen, I can see out into the garden where the leaves and stalks are brown and bug-eaten. You can see a little lump of dirt where something was wrapped in a blanket and laid to rest along the rows of twisting vines. The front room looks out into the street, where the neighbors are all setting fire to their homes, barricading themselves inside, warm and snug, dearie. Don't forget about the bedroom either. It sees into a dreary alley where hooligans are playing a game with an old man. The first two are hitting him with sticks, and the girl with them is kicking at his dry, old ribs. Oh, to have those bones, to boil them in a pot. No one lives in my house anymore, dearie. No one you'd want to meet. When I lived there with my husband, we were fine, fine people. Vera Moray, everyone would say. Your house is as grand as Boyle Manor. Even better. Your dinners are lavish and your parties are the best. When that young Sokolov came to paint my portrait, I was nearly still in my prime. Radiant, he said, and he was just barely a man. So young, painting all the best people across the land. Everyone wanted a portrait by his hand, all my friends. I was the only one, dearie, wet with his paint, glistening on the canvas for a pretty coin. But it wasn't all parties and paintings. My husband and I weren't always at home. No, we traveled together, he and I, to the far ends of the Isles, beyond even all the way to the red cliffs of Pandisia, to dig in the rock and crawl through the caves, holding up candles and squinting at the walls. Many precious things we came upon, but none so precious as the boy with the black eyes, dearie. All those marks and bones, carved so deep and polished so bright. I brought the old bones home, hid them from my dear husband. Then I learned to boil them and carve them myself. They made such good presents, dearie. The little mute boy took them home. He loved them so. All the time he came back with new bones for me, holding them up so I could see it in his eyes, even though his tongue was still. Granny, his eyes would say to me, carve these bones for me. Make me another present. And he went so far, all the way to Dunwall Tower, the royal headsman man himself now. My little mute boy and his shiny, shiny sword. Better bones were what I needed, you see. Better bones to carve and polish, scrape and gleam. My dear old husband was always tired. I made him soup and then he was sick. Better bones was all for my little boy, carved in the name of one with black eyes. And after my husband was gone, giving away his birthday gifts, I didn't want to live there anymore. So now I'm old and don't have money to give my presents to. It's sifting through the garbage for granny rags and feeding the little birdies that gather at my feet. No one wants to have tea, dearie, especially those rude louts on Bottle Street. Slackjaw and his boys, always meddling with an old woman just trying to make her way. In the end we'll be together with him, you and me in the dreary night, with stars above and below, and always the one with the black eyes, dearie. So she's talking about the outsider, bones, dearie. I don't know who this dearie person is. Man. Wow, there is so much to read here. How about this? I'm gonna slowly scroll down through these. I'll read these on my own time. And you can pause at any point if you want to read these. There's just It's a bit much for me right now, honestly. Hopefully this gives you enough time to pause and read if you want. There you go. Anyway, I just want to kind of get to business. Yeah, it's getting to be evening here. Alright. Let's see if I can... I should actually probably be using my blink. Hey Piero, what you doing? Blink.
What can I do for you?
Whale oil processing. Actually, I can probably afford some more stuff after Alright, yeah, I'm guessing the definitive edition, since I have it, gives you 1 extra bone charm slot, because they said it was going to be 3 by default, but that doesn't seem to be the case, honestly. Well, I think I completely maxed out that. Why not purchase that? Sure. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, I wanted to increase sleep bolt capacity, but I don't think you can do that with him. That's fine.
If you like, but he won't use it.
Admiral Havelock.
Well, let's get down to it. First off, I know that assassination is dark business, but sometimes good men have to do bad things to make the world right. Our purpose is clear. We want to restore Her Majesty's line by finding and putting Emily Kaldwin on the throne. To those ends, we'll hide, act in shadow, take them apart, piece by piece. Tonight, High Overseer Campbell dies by your hand. It won't be easy. He's protected by his overseers, an army of religious zealots. But if anyone can do it, you can. Your exploits are legendary. Campbell carries a private journal. Once you've eliminated him, get the journal, because we think it contains Emily's location. Recovering her is obviously critical, assuming she's alive. That's the gist of it. Remember our cause and strike true. We're counting on you.
Alrighty then.
Another thing. Campbell is holding a former overseer by the name of Martin. He's one of us, and if you manage to find him, give him whatever help you can. He's a master strategist, and he got caught working for our cause. It'd be good to have him back here at the Hound Pits.
Alright. I'll let you, I'll maybe get back to reading sometime. I'm just a little, my throat's getting a little bit dry from it, so I will just, look at this when I'm editing, and, yeah. You can pause and read all you want. But I think we should just
Attention Dunwall citizens. Do not attempt to...
Oh, hello?
Corvo. Hello. I'm Callista. I work here for Admiral Havelock. I'm sorry to intrude on your business, but this is important. I suspect you're going to kill the High Overseer. That wretched man. There's really no reason for you to listen to me. But my uncle, Jeff Kernow, still serves as captain in the City Watch. But he's a good man, and my only family. The chatter in servant circles is that Campbell just took delivery of an exotic poison. And I think I know why. My uncle's not corruptible like the rest of them. Campbell is going to poison my uncle. Do you think you could protect him? You used to do that, right? Before you had your current profession. Before you became an assassin.
I haven't even assassinated anyone yet, but... Sure, I mean... We can try. I got, you know... People are asking quite a lot of me right off the bat, but it's, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Ready to go? Just give the signal.
I think so. Let's go then. Take me to the distillery district. Oh yeah, let's put this mask on and get ready for our first mission. High Overseer Campbell leads the city's militant religious faction and is a close ally to the Lord Regent. Campbell is currently completely corrupt and holds the secret to Emily's location. Infiltrate, steal journal. Martin is being held there. Free him and allow him to escape. Alright.
It'll be a rough trip. Used to be to go straight up Clavering Boulevard, but now it's not so easy. Half the city's dead of the plague. The other half's fighting over what's left. The City Watch still holds the bigger streets, and they've set up those wall of light checkpoints. A man walks through one of those, and he ends up burned to a crisp.
Yeah.
Everything not controlled by the City Watch is gang territory. Then there are the real odd birds living on the fringes like that Granny Rags. They say she's nuts.
Yeah, she sounds nuts from what I've
I don't know which
read.
is worse. Just take your pick.
Well, maybe I'm nuts since I saw I can do magic and I saw the outsider. I probably shouldn't have eaten that rat. Didn't really need it to.
If you decide to go up Clavering, don't let the guards spot you.
Alright. Alright, I will start our first mission in the next part. I will get that ready for you soon. And you guys have a good one.